yellow outside of row 1. Harry's never won a Busch Series event at this famed oval. Contrast that to pole sitter Mark Martin, who's going for a record 4 consecutive wins in this fall Grand National Classic. Both drivers have a date to run 500 miles on Sunday, but they wouldn't miss today's chance to attack the track that's called Too Tough to Tame. We welcome you live to the granddaddy of all stock car facilities, the famed Darlington Raceway in Darlington, South Carolina. It's the site of today's NASCAR Busch Grand National Series Dura Lube 200, presented by AutoZone. Hello, everyone. I'm Jerry Punch. Glad to have you with us. Now, you history buffs remember the date, September 4th, 1950. That's when the era of NASCAR superspeedway racing began right here at Darlington. And a lot of the drivers who visited Victory Lane during the early years are now enshrined in the Hall of Fame just outside of Turn 4. Well, the Busch Series cars began coming here in 1982. But the names who have won those races read like a who's who in Winston Cup racing. Names like Earnhardt, Waltrip, Martin, Jarrett. That's how important this Saturday race is. But it's also important to some of the Busch Series regulars. You see, just 5 events remain, and the points, well, just 95 points separate the top 2. David Green, 95 ahead of Randy LaJoie. Jeff Green is 3rd, Curtis Markham 4th, and Jeff Purvis is 5th. You see the top 10 right there. But for more on this race within a race, let's check in down on pit road with Bill Weber.
Well, Jerry, points are certainly critical, but some drivers simply want to try and prove a point today. Like Chad Little, his season was supposed to sparkle, but instead it has sputtered. Just 2 top 10s this season. He'd like to prove he's ready to take this team to Winston Cup in 1997 with a win here today. Then there's Jeff Green, 5th on the grid and 3rd in the points, but in 89 Busch career starts, he's never been to Victory Lane. He'd like to prove his owner hired the right driver. Then there's Elliott Sadler. He'd never been to Bristol before last Friday. He finished 13th. He'd never been to Darlington before a 2-day test last week. He starts 6th. Then there's Randy LaJoie, 2nd in points, 4 wins, but 29th last week at Bristol. He starts 7th today. And finally, well, there's this guy, David Green. All he's done is win 2 races, and he leads the points. What he'd like to do is chase down his 2nd Busch Series championship while eyeing potential offers to move to Winston Cup in 1997. He starts 16th today. And what's that margin in the points lead over Randy LaJoie? Oh, yeah, 95. But not where you start, but how you race here could be extremely critical. For more on that, let's go to Kyle Petty.
Thank you. And 2 things that are going to be really critical today is this Unocal 76 gasoline and these Goodyear tires sitting over here. They're very, very important. You can run this race on 1 stop, but I don't think a lot of people are going to try that strategy because tires give up before the fuel runs out. That's just the way it is. There may be a few of the Winston Cup drivers and a few of the drivers that are a little bit more conservative on tires that try to stretch it and try to gamble and try to use that strategy and try to make it a 1-stop race. But a lot of people are going to make this a 2-stop race. Now, with some guys that have to use big strategy to get from the back to the front, we've got John Kernan.
Well, Kyle, Todd Bodine in the last practice session before qualifying broke a motor, did not get to qualify. He starts all the way back in the 39th position because he had to use a provisional. In fact, the last month been like a nightmare for Todd and his team. The best finished Talladega, 23rd. They've gone from 3rd place in the points all the way down to 6th. Todd looking to go toward the front and change his luck today. Starting shotgun on the field way back by himself in the last row is Larry Pearson. He won the spring event at Darlington last year, but Larry's team has been in transition this year. A lot of bad luck, and this could be this team's last race of the season. Also, Larry's crew chief, Ryan Pemberton, is leaving the team after today's race. He's going to a new Winston Cup team for next season. These guys have a lot at stake this afternoon. There's one guy in the field who's got a lot at stake tomorrow, and for more on that, we go upstairs to Dan and Benny.
There's it, folks. Dale Jarrett, the driver of the Band-Aid Ford Thunderbird. Tomorrow, in the Mountain Dew Southern 500, he has a chance to pick up a $1 million bonus if he can win the race. He started on the pole. He's got a great start. I got one question for you, Ned. What on earth is he doing in this race today?
Sounds dumb, don't it?
It does.
Well, there's 3 reasons. That he loves to race, and he made a commitment to his sponsor, Band-Aid, long before he became eligible for the $1 million that he would run this race, so he's going to honor that commitment. And I think more than that, he can learn from this race today. He can learn how the tires will do in competition, how the track changes, and also you know how important it is to get that rhythm here at Darlington. So that'll give him an opportunity to get in the groove.
And those tires that he's used today, that's exactly the same tires those cars will be using tomorrow as he tries to win $1 million.
We'll follow Dale Jarrett's run today and tomorrow for the Winston Select Million. But today, it's the NASCAR Busch Grand National Series Dura Lube 200 presented by AutoZone. When we come back, we'll take a look at the Suzuki starting lineup and wave the green flag from the track Too Tough to Tame. Today's Speed World coverage of the NASCAR Busch Grand National Series Dura Lube 200 being brought to you by Suzuki. Your Suzuki motorcycle and ATV dealer has the ride you've been waiting for and the financing to get it. By McDonald's, on the track and in our restaurants, just watch us cook. And by Quaker Steak, the motor oil that exceeds the highest standards for engine protection. 43 cars will start. Take a look at our Suzuki starting grid today here at Darlington. Row 1, Mark Martin picked up his second pole in the 1996 season. Terry Labonte, Winston Cup veteran, flanks him.
And row 2, Chad Little trying to find a first victory, and Ricky Craven.
And in row 3, we find Elliott Sadler and Jeff Green.
7th and 8th, Randy LaJoie. They're second place in the points, and Dick Trickle, the Winston Cup veteran.
Row 5, Mike McLaughlin and Elton Sawyer in that Lipton T-car.
And in row 6, we have Jeff Fuller and Buckshot Jones.
Back in row 7th, Ward Burton, who had a wild qualifying effort here yesterday for the Winston Cup car, and Hermie Sadler.
Row 8, Joe Nemechek and David Green, the points leader.
And in row 9, we find Rodney Combs and Jason Keller.
Back in 19th and 20th spot, there's Dale Jarrett. He starts 19th today. He'll start on the pole tomorrow. And Curtis Markham currently in the top 5 in the points.
Starting 21st, Dennis Sesser in the 48 car, and Ron Barfield, local boy, on the outside of row 11.
Row number 12, L.W. Miller III, young driver, and Hut Strickland.
Back in row 13, Glenn Allen Jr., leading Rookie of the Year candidate, and Tim Fedewa, a winner a year ago.
Row 14, Tony Stewart, the IRL driver, and Derek Cope.
Row number 15, the veteran Tommy Houston and Darrell Lanigan making his first start ever here at Darlington.
And as you look at the rest of our starters, there's Brad Teague and Kevin LePage. 43 cars will start today for a purse of $292,434. It is 147 laps, 200 miles on a very, very tough racetrack. And of course, there are a number of first-time drivers here in the starting field. In fact, 4 to be exact will be making their first Busch race start ever here in Darlington. Elliott Sadler, who starts 6th. Ron Barfield back in 22nd. Tony Stewart and Darrell Lanigan. Those 4 drivers, you see where they're starting. Darlington first-timers aboard. They have something in store for them today.
Hermie Sadler's car on board with him. We'll be on board with Mark Martin. Also, Phil Parsons has an onboard camera. And Stevie Reeves.
And we're ready to go racing.
Laps has been completed, and to no one's surprise, it's Mark Martin. He was so strong yesterday in that final Busch Series practice.
There we see Curtis Markham, the 63 car, Lysol car, slowing yesterday afternoon about 5 o'clock. They had the engine out of that car, so evidently something wrong with the new one.
Well, it's a tough break here this early in the race. Of course, he's up in the point standings.
He's in 4th spot overall in the Busch Series points. Valley Hurting is only 5 minutes remaining.
There goes Terry Labonte. He is going by the pole center, taking the lead.
We didn't think anybody could pass Mark Martin. Here, Terry Labonte has done it early.
We thought that the only car to be able to pass Mark Martin would be the pace car, but Terry Labonte has done it in just the 3rd lap.
Now Chad Little moves right to the rear deck of Mark Martin. Here's Stevie Reeves in the Clabber Girl Ford trying to make a move inside the Chevy of Jeff Purvis. Can't quite make it.
Went back in the pack for 34th and 35th position.
I received Ricky Craven, the 2 car.
problems with the 63. You saw the car slowing a minute ago. Bill, what's the problem?
Well, Jerry, as you guys mentioned, they did have a motor problem in final practice yesterday. They believe it's an ignition problem now. They're going to try and get it worked on. But they've slipped from 20th all the way to the rear of the field. So a tough start for Curtis Markham here at Darlington.
And now Terry Labonte begins to stretch it out somewhat. About 3 or 4 car lengths over Mark Martin, Chad Little, Ricky Craven, Jeff Green. Those are the 2nd through 5th place cars.
Ward Burton going by the 38 car of Elton Sawyer. Comes Buckshot Jones on the inside. Takes a spot away. And there's Joe Nemechek in the 87 car. Nemechek will be trying awfully hard that 87 car today because the 87 car did not qualify for the Mountain Dew Southern 500.
There's our points leader, Ned, the 95 car, very gingerly trying to work his way through traffic.
David Green in the number 95 car getting around the Jeff Fuller car. And here comes Hut Strickland in 28 and Dennis Setzer in 48 trying to make the move, but he couldn't quite do it.
There's Randy LaJoie, the 74 car. You heard Bill Weber tell you he finished 29th last week and lost 54 points. And he's now up in, what, 5th position and trying to make a move on 4th spot.
And he gets a nose alongside. He should have the advantage going into turn 3. Let's see if Craven backs out. Yes, he does. And that was a smart thing to do.
There's Jeff Green, the 3 car, trying to follow LaJoie by. Could not do it. We see Jeff Green, the 3, is running 6th.
Here's Brad Teague in the 75 car. 26 is Derek Cope. The 15th is a first-time Darlington starter, Tony Stewart.
He's getting a real education about stock car racing as he follows these fellows around the Darlington Raceway.
That's back about 25th, 6th, and 7th in the middle of the pack.
That's Jimmy Spencer in the 77 car.
Here's Hut Strickland making a move on Rodney Combs. Jeff Fuller last week's, no, that's Herbie Sadler in the car number 1.
And the 48 car of Setzer follows along, goes by Jason Keller.
That's 18th, 19th, and 20th. And look at Randy LaJoie, guys, right side of your screen. He is now in 3rd spot and closing on Mark Martin.
Hey, buddy, easy on them tires now.
Bertie said, easy on those tires.
You heard Kyle Petty at the top of the show talking about how important that is. But I'll tell you, Benny, he's got a fast race car and he wants to go.
That's exactly what Mark Martin's doing, Ed. I didn't think about it, but he is back there saving those tires. He wants to try to make it on one stop.
Dale Jarrett going by Joe Nemechek.
Moves into 14th spot.
Started 19th.
Mark Martin just moves over and lets Randy LaJoie go. Ned, I bet you he's playing the tire strategy.
I think that's a very good observation. I would have to agree.
Boy, look at LaJoie just stretching it away, pulls him by 2 car lengths off of turn 2. Now the battle side by side for 4th spot. Craven almost to the inside. No, thinks better of it, falls back in behind Chad Little.
And there's problems over in turn 2. Looks like Tim Fedewa.
Apparently he got a little tap from behind. We're being told by our spotters as a Kleenex car. That's the Doug Taylor Motorsports machine comes in contact, and that'll bring out caution for the first time today. Fedewa rides the concrete, gives a big Darlington drop. Look again at what happened.
There we see the 19 car. That's Darrell Lanigan, another driver, his first race here. He's trying to get alongside the 40. A little bit of bump to the left rear, and we see that Fedewa loses control. When he saves it, goes in, hits the wall with the front and then the back. Take a look at the other angle, Ned.
And you can see the white car of Lanigan down on the inside, and just a little bit of contact doesn't take much, especially coming off the turn. You're almost out of control anyway, and he shot him right into the wall.
Well, caution for the first time today here at Darlington Raceway. An incident out of turn 2 involving the car number 40 of Tim Fedewa. We'll be right back. Back at Darlington Raceway under caution for the first time today. 29-year-old Tim Fedewa's Ford has come to rest just out of turn 2. They're trying to pry some of that Kleenex Ford Thunderbird away from the wall. Let's show you the view that Stevie Reeves might have had from the Big A Auto Parts roof cam.
Well, he was right behind it and was able to go low and miss it.
Once again, another angle as Lanigan in the white 19 goes up and just barely touches. But I tell you, from that in-car camera shot, you can see just how violently the 40 car hit the wall, how the rear jumped off the racetrack. John Kernan is with Tim Feedaway. John?
Well, Tim has gotten out of the car. He's all right. He's made his way over pit wall, headed back to his pit. Tim, what happened?
I really don't know. You know, we were going through there, and it's tight here. I don't know if someone got in the back of me. That's what it felt like. And just come around and got in the wall. I feel bad for Kleenex and IGA. Had a lot of people here, but you know, it's one of them days, and hopefully we'll get things going a little better. It's been a rough year, but you just got to keep on pushing.
Yeah, how do you keep on pushing? I mean, the cars burned up on the way up to Watkins Glen a few weeks ago or a couple months ago.
Well, you just got to have faith. You know, it's like anything else. You just got to keep trying and trying harder. And it's been a tough year, but a lot more people had even tough years. So just keep on pushing along, and hopefully it'll get better.
Tim Feedaway out of it today, headed back to the garage area.
He picked up his first Busch win a year ago at Nazareth, but as he said, it's been a very, very tough year for Feedaway. Back with more from Darlington after this. Stay with us. Darlington Raceway, the Dura Lube 200 presented by AutoZone, the NASCAR Busch Series event. There's our leader, Terry Labonte. First time he has led at Darlington in his career as a Busch Series driver in his 8th start. But here are a couple of guys on the move. How about Phil Parsons, Channel Lock Chevrolet? He is up 10 spots from where he started. And Benny, good run for Parsons, currently in 24th spot. And Todd Bodine has gained 9 spots. He is now in 31st spot in his car. Getting set for green flag, a restart, lap 17.
And this time, Dale Jarrett is able to get by the 47 car of Jeff Fuller. If you watched the race last week in Bristol, you saw just a lap and a half to go, 47 and 32. This time, Jarrett is able to make the move.
See them fan out as they come off the turn 2 and on the back stretch, and then they have to get single file going into that turn 3.
Ricky Craven a moment ago trying to get underneath Chad Little coming off turn 4. Thought better of it. Backed up. Never see Craven in 5th spot. Chad, the 23 car, is in 4th. Man, Ricky Craven really getting to the middle of that corner.
Yes, he is. He made a run on Chad, but saw he was not going to be able to do it back there. But he's going to try to make the move here on the front straightaway. But I don't know if that'll work either.
Meanwhile, there goes Mike McLaughlin, the Raw Low car by Jeff Green, taking over that spot.
That's a 6th position. McLaughlin, well known for making those runs from back in the pack. We saw him at IRP this year on the short track. Trouble, turn 2. That's Daryl Lanigan.
And Kevin LePage.
2 cars on the apron, caution south. Caution south. One car in the middle of the track, backstretch coming off of 2. Middle of the track, backstretch coming off of 2.
That's Kevin LePage. If he can get the car fired, he will not lose a lap. Lanigan is getting his car going again.
And LePage still sits backwards facing oncoming traffic. Now has it refired. Will try to turn it around. Farmer's Choice Fertilizer Chevrolet of David Ridley.
Almost ran in the inside wall, but he's going again. And the 19 car will have to head for the pits and put on some fresh tires, I would imagine. Also, the 88 car will need some fresh tires.
Here's a replay. We'll show you what happened again to bring out the second caution flag in just 3 laps.
It's already started. We see the 19 car. And evidently, he and the 88 made some contact because the 88 is going to spin in front of him. On to the left of the camera, the 88 is spinning. So obviously they made some kind of contact in the middle of the corner.
Now earlier in that lap, now take a look at what happened to the 88 car.
He's on the inside of Jeff Purvis as they go through the corner, and they get together just a little bit. Purvis gets on by in the 4 car, and LePage straightens it out. But then here comes the that's the 81 car of Todd Bodine.
Gotta wonder maybe if he didn't have a tire going down. Maybe he had a right front tire. Maybe he bumped something. A little different angle. This accident up in turn 2 now.
Oh, Barfield. I see Barfield and the L.W. Miller have spun out. And so those guys and there's a 75 car. That's up in turn 4. In other words, they were wrecking at the same time, Ned. A wreck was going off in turn 4 while we were watching the wreck in turns 1 and 2.
Had no idea that was all going on.
So Brad Teague in the 75, L.W. Miller in the 21, and Barfield in the 94 had their own private accident out in turn 4 that we didn't see initially. Now here are some entries on the pit road.
Okay, yeah, here we go, down in the corner. There's 88. Oh, the 19 goes on the apron.
Can't do that here at Darlington.
Not
When he
a
goes
good spot there, Darrell. He goes up and just touches the 88 car with his right rear, and we see the 88 finally lose control coming off the corner. Well, I guess that rookie's figured out you can't run on the apron, did he, Ned?
right quick. Yes, sir. That does not work here at Darlington.
Uh-oh, get that tire. Look out.
Whoa, right out in front of Brad Teague. They grab it. There is Ron Barfield, New Holland Tractors, Ford Thunderbird, the car owned by Bill Elliott. They're getting some 4 tires put on that car because that spin, a little shunt in the wall. There's L.W. Miller pulling out.
They need to hurry. The pace car is going to be coming into the picture there pretty quickly. It's going through turns 1 and 2 now. They get the tires on, the jack down, heads out. There comes the pace car, the leader, Terry Labonte.
There comes Darrell. I'm sure that's Darrell Lanigan, the 19 car. That's, yes, it is. It's exiting the pit, so he will not lose a lap.
We told you there were 4 drivers making their first ever Darlington start. I'm sure Darrell Lanigan won't forget this one.
Well, Lanigan's already been involved in 2 crashes, and now Barfield is spun and L.W. Miller is spun up in the corner. So when we talk about experience, folks, we mean it.
This unique egg-shaped oval will bite you in a hurry. Now they're going to call off the restart here and get them all lined up. And while they get them lined up, we'll take a quick break and come back with more green flag action. Folks, you don't want to miss this one. It's going to get even more exciting when we come back to the track Too Tough to Tame. They wave the green hanky back at it, lap 24. The restart after 2 cautions in less than 6 laps. And Terry Labonte pulls them off turn 2.
Randy Joy in second place, Mark Martin third, Chad Little fourth, and Ricky Craven fifth.
Joe Nemechek, going by Alton Sawyer's Lipton T car. That's Nemechek in the blue and white car, and there's David Green, the points leader in the 95, the Caterpillar car.
David Green is back in 16th position.
Here's Ricky Craven in the car number 2, the car 34. Mike McLaughlin making a move on the inside of Craven. Whoa!
Oh, Ricky didn't want to give up that spot, did he?
Oh,
Something needs to give here, I'll tell you. Hey, they made it to the corner. I'm impressed.
I'm very impressed.
That's 5th position. It's 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th right together. Craven, the car number 2, is the 5th place car. That's the front 4 going by. There's Craven, 5th, the 34, McLaughlin, 6th. Then comes Green. Trouble.
That's like Phil Parsons, isn't it? No, maybe. Yes, it is. We see some heavy damage to the right front.
Oh, that's too bad. Phil was making his way up through there. It's running in 23rd.
And it looks like he's got the engine started again now.
Heavy damage to the right side of that channel lock Chevy. Phil in 7th spot in the point standings with just 5 events to go. Has tagged the inside pit wall. Brings out caution number 3.
I guess he's going to drive around to the pit wall where it ends there and turn and go down pit road. I guess that's his plan. We've seen, man, some heavy damage to the right side of that car.
And I'll bet there was a reason for him spinning into that wall, too.
More than likely.
Let's take a look at his in-car camera, see if we can see what might have happened.
Down on the inside of Jeff Purvis in the car number 4 right there. Looks like they might have made a little bit of contact. Wow, that hurts to listen to that.
There we see Phil. He's trying to go straight, but has very little steering in that car.
Well, he had come all the way from 33rd starting spot to about 21st in the first 25 laps. So he was certainly on a tear toward the front in the channel lock car, but now he's going to hope just to try to get it fixed and get some points.
Phil's already re-signed with Channel Lock again for 1997.
Yes, Channel Lock people. are saying that Todd Bodine and Phil might have made some contact. We have not seen that, but some of our spotters have reported that.
There's the Cape Canaveral Cruise Lines machine of Todd Bodine. He's on the move. He's in 24th position. He started in 39th, so 15 spots he's gained in 27 laps. And Phil Parsons has made it back to the garage, Jerry, where his team will hope to be able to get that car repaired and get him back out to try to stay in the top 10 in the points. We'll be right back. Track Facts are brought to you by Quaker Steak, the motor oil that exceeds the highest standards for engine protection. For years, one of the elements drivers haven't had to worry about in Winston Cup was fire, unless something unusual happens, and yesterday it did.
Ward Burton on his qualifying run. Car broke loose, got into the wall. The filler neck came loose on the car. Gas spewed out, and of course created quite a fire.
In qualifying for the Winston Cup event, a different angle showed you the car backing into the wall, and watch the hose just pouring fuel around and it ignites. Watch right side of your screen. Ricky Rudd will leap over the wall and run to the aid of fellow driver Ward Burton. As he pulls Ward out, the good news is Ward was okay. Kyle Petty?
What you just saw was the driver's worst fear, fire. Sitting in a car, being strapped in, you saw Ricky Rudd try to go get Ward Burton out. The crews know that. The people on pit road know that. NASCAR knows that. They station firemen every 2 or 3 pits. Each crew member or each crew carries a fire extinguisher on their toolbox. So in case something happens during work week, while they're working on the cars, if a carburetor backfires up through there and catches things on fire. But something new that the base team, the 74 team, is carrying is a fire blanket. They've had incidents where the car has backfired during the refueling process. It ignites the fire. The fireman or the fuel gas man goes up in flames. My father had a gas guy get burnt real severely 2 or 3 years ago. This is something you wrap the fireman in, or you wrap the gas man in, lay him on the ground, and puts the fire out. I think you're going to be seeing a lot more of this on all the teams. Even though teams are wearing fireproof uniforms and helmets, anything to protect these guys from fires, whether it be a driver or a crewman, is critical to NASCAR racing.
Boy, indeed, Kyle. I was in the middle of that fire the King had in Atlanta a few years ago, and it was nothing but an inferno on pit road. Fortunately, those are very, very rare. NASCAR Busch Grand National Series action coming your way live from the track Too Tough to Tame, the Dura Lube 200 presented by AutoZone, when we come back. Back lap 33, the spotters yelled green flag. That's indeed what we have back at Darlington Raceway. After 3 caution flags, the last one lasting just 6 laps.
Ricky Craven on the outside of Chad Little, and got a great run. Will take that spot away, and will Mike McLaughlin. This is onboard Mark Martin, Winn-Dixie Ford, as he looks back at Ricky Craven.
And here's Dennis Setzer driving the Uniforms machine, subbing for Randy Porter, who's away this weekend, and he has slowed dramatically. He was being shown in 17th spot.
And Mark Martin, is something wrong with his car? No, he just backs off and let those guys go.
Yeah, I think they were racing a little bit harder than he wanted to race right now. And I think I have to agree with you. He's conserving those tires.
You heard Kyle Petty at the top of the show. Some of the veteran drivers are going to probably try to ride it and really conserve the rubber. That's what Mark Martin may be doing. Setzer, by the way, we are told, has a motor problem in the car number 48. Tough race for Dennis Setzer.
And Randy LaJoy closes up right on the back bumper of Terry Labonte.
He's got a run. Jim Purvis has a run there.
He goes by Rodney Combs. There's Derek Cope. Here before the lead. Turn 1.
Randy LaJoy, the Fina Chevy Wolves, just squeezes right in front of Terry Labonte and takes the lead here on lap 35.
Drive your race and be smooth.
And there we see Elliott Sadler going by Jeff Green. Buckshot Jones on the inside. Oh, baby. Close and excited. Dale Jarrett follows. There's a car on the inside on the apron of the racetrack, slow.
Jeff Green did the right thing. Once he got up there in that upper groove, those cars started going by. He just let them go till you find him a good hole there. That was a smart thing to do. You start forcing him in that situation. And there's Elliott Sadler making another move.
Wow, look at that under Chad Little. And here goes the back for second spot as Craven goes by Labonte. Mark McLaughlin back in fourth spot.
Chad Little lost about 3 or 4 positions there as Elliott Sadler and Dale Jarrett both got by. And here comes McLaughlin.
Mike McLaughlin will take the spot away. That's third from Terry Labonte. Now it's LaJoy, Craven, McLaughlin, then Labonte, and Mark Martin, top 5. Just a preview what you're going to see here tomorrow. You're going to see 200 miles today. Tomorrow you're going to get 2.5 times this 500 miles on the track Too Tough to Tame, and $1 million up for grabs for Dale Jarrett.
Mark Martin.
John Kernan has caught up with Phil Parsons. John, what happened over there?
Well, let's ask Phil. Phil, what happened out there to you?
Well, I really don't know. The 43 had us seized up. I was trying to pass him, and then Derek got a run on me and got by me, so I was trying to pass him back down the front stretch. He moved over to block me, then let Purvis drive on the outside of me, so we were racing through 1 and 2 side by side. Someone said, you know, my spotter said 81 ran in the back of me, and just if he did hit me, just nudged me and just got me sideways and got me out of shape. And I thought I had it saved, and the thing went on around. But I just can't believe it. I thought we got through this a month ago, you know, but the Channel Lock crew worked awfully hard. The thing was really going to the front, but, you know, so difficult to pass. But then we had, you know, had some guys making it too wide through the 1 and 2, which is pretty tough. But I don't know. You know, if he hit me, it was slight, but you don't need much of a tap.
Phil Parsons done for the day, came into the race 7th in the points.
I was showing you a moment ago the car number 95. That's our point leader, the Caterpillar car, the Chevrolet of David Green. He's now being shown in 14th position. And Randy LaJoy is our leader. He is second in the points. If the race were to end right now, the margin would go from 95 down to 32 points. That's the difference right now between first where LaJoy is and back here with the 95 car of David Green.
But we still have a lot of racing to go. See 107 laps yet. So a lot of things can happen. Green driving himself a good steady race there.
That's Joe Nemechek right in front of David Green.
And Chad, I'm sorry, Jerry, but Chad Little just fell out of the race. He's going down the pit road on the backstretch, and Buckshot Jones is smoking on the racetrack. So we'll have to keep an eye out for all that. There we see Buckshot with Smokey done in 1 and 2. And Glenn Allen, the 99 car, being lapped by these fellas.
Yeah, he's back in 38th position. Now 37 cars remaining on the lead lap.
And Black Flag Buckshot is being black flagged by NASCAR. Or someone was. I'm assuming if there we see the smoke.
Probably so, yeah, that is a lot of smoke.
But Dale Jarrett's glad to see the black flag.
Well, yeah, he's got to be concerned. When you ride along behind a car that's smoking, then you really get concerned because you don't know if the engine's fixing to go and dump some oil on the racetrack and you get in it. Now he slowed down, just down to the inside. Tough break for Buckshot. Had a good run going here today.
Yeah, I was mistaken a moment ago. That was the 48 car of Dennis Setzer I saw going towards the pit, not Chad Little. So you Chad Little fans, John Deere fans, sorry. He is right now in 10th spot.
And Ricky Craven trying to reel in Randy LaJoy now. That margin about 4 or 5 car lengths.
Elliott Sadler, something just happened to his car. Look at the smoke coming from it. Wow, 2 in the top 10 and within 3 laps.
Elliott Sadler had a great run going too. They're driving for Gary and Carolyn Bechtel, the WCW Chevy.
Benny, is that the engine or is that something else? That looks like it's coming right out from where the left front wheel is.
It looked like the left front wheel bearings is gone on that car is what it looked like. You're right, Ned.
Third start of the year for Elliott Sadler for that team. They were thinking about trying to sign him for a long-term contract as he brings the car to a halt. There's Dale Jarrett making a move. That's for 5th position. Maybe a little bit of rehearsal for Dale Jarrett for tomorrow. His weekend already got off to a huge bang yesterday when he flanked his Quality Care Ford on the pole for the Southern 500.
Mark Martin's car might be a little bit tight, Benny.
Could be.
Yeah, but he doesn't want to abuse that right front tire.
David Green making the move inside. Up to the 23 car, taking away the 9th spot.
We saw Jeff Purvis making a move there. Jeff's coming on towards the front. Moved up to 12th position now.
Bill Weber, what's going on with Mark Martin? Is something wrong with his car, or is he just trying to save the tires?
Ned's right on the money. Mark's car is tight. The 60 car is tight. But they ran laps here yesterday in long runs. 25 laps, pulled off the tires, put on another set, 25 laps. After that, there was very little rubber left on those tires. So Bobby Leslie told me this morning the veterans are going to have a huge advantage today. And no one knows this track better than Mark Martin. So he's probably saving his tires, but his car is a little bit tight.
Well, indeed, Bill, Mark Martin going for 4 in a row. No one has won this fall Busch Grand National Classic but Mark Martin since 1993. That's the 4 from Darlington after this. This way in Darlington, South Carolina. Ricky Craven just a moment ago scooted by on the inside. Made it look easy when he slid by. And I say slid by the 74 car of Randy LaJoie. The first time Craven has led either a Busch race or a Winston Cup race here at Darlington.
Coming off turn 2, going down the backstretch of Darlington. We see Craven gets position on the 74. LaJoie backs off and lets him slide in that lead position in turn 3.
But he hasn't pulled away. You can see how close they are as they weave through some traffic. Now he might, well, the 99 stays down out of the way, but you can see he did get quite a lead there as LaJoie had to back off just a little bit. Those lap cars.
Talk about some drivers on the move. Dale Jarrett is coming in a hurry. Jarrett now being shown in 4th position in the Band-Aid Ford. There he is right behind the Royal Oak Chevy of Mike McLaughlin. Started 19th. You see the progression now. Back on lap 50 now. He's being shown in 4th spot. 4 of the top 6 cars are Winston Cup experienced veterans. What we talked about at the top of the show about how the veterans have the experience to handle this Cup XJ Nova.
And we see Jeff Green, the 3 cars. He tries to chase down Mark Martin. There's Jeff Purvis on the back bumper of the 95 car of David Green. We see Purvis started 36th.
And he's now in 10th place.
Great move by Purvis.
There's our points leader, David Green, right in front of Purvis. And boy, Purvis is weaving and wobbling all over, trying to find a way to get around. Goes high in turn 1.
Slowing down low here in front of you. 99.
David Green's spotter tells him the 99 car was slow up in front. Look at Hut Strickland, started 24th. He is now 8th, so he's got that car on the move. Oh, they caught Glenn Allen at the very worst spot on the racetrack. They lose several car lengths to Hut Strickland.
Leaders now trying to work heavy traffic. That is the car number 2 of Craven. Ron Barfield, that goes by the 94 car. There's Darrell Lanigan. Craven will back off and tiptoe around the young man he knows has never been here before.
And Mike Wallace up at the 90 car. Wallace chassis not up to snuff today.
Lanigan is shown in the 33rd position. He's been in 2 spins earlier, but didn't seem to damage his car too much. But he's trying to stay on the lead lap. And ooh, he got a little high and a little loose. Craven got on the inside of it. But the 74 car, now he takes the pass.
Clear.
That's LaJoie's spotter telling him he's made the pass so that he can pull back in line as Craven goes by the Mike Wallace machine.
I'm told that the 29 car had a loose oil line fitting. We see him on the racetrack right behind the 34 car. He's back on the racetrack. The 29 car is now 4 laps down.
There's Dale Jarrett in 3rd spot as he tries to reel in the lead cruiser. Now he has to work that same traffic of Barfield, Lanigan, and Wallace.
There's the car Benny was talking about, the 29 of Elliott Sadler.
Well, they've been very impressed with Elliott Sadler. Just 21 years of age. He had never been to Indianapolis Raceway, never been to Michigan or Bristol. He drove the first 2 events for this team, finished on the lead lap in both races at tracks he had never seen before.
You see Mike Wallace off the pace going in the pits on the backstretch as Dale Jarrett goes by.
Field summary showing where your favorite race driver could be running, also showing in parentheses where they started.
There's our leader, Ricky Craven. Second place car, Randy LaJoy.
Terry Labonte has dropped all the way back to 7th position. And Mike Wallace is in the backstretch pits, and John Kernan is there.
This will be Mike Wallace's second pit stop. He got lapped just a couple of laps ago, so they decided to bring it in. They're close to his scheduled time, so it'll be a 4-tire change for Mike. Didn't see a chassis adjustment, but the car not handling quite the way Mike would like it, just a little bit tight. And we'll take a look at the tires and let you know how they look in just a moment. But I understand Terry Labonte might be pitting now.
Well, Terry Labonte heads down pit road, and he'll be headed toward you, Bill Weber.
Terry called his crew, said, I cannot race this car any longer. I'm sure I will blow a tire. So he comes in under green. This will be 4 tires. They're going to take 2 rounds of wedge out and come up on the front tires 1 pound. They work around to the right side, put in fuel. If you can get to 50 laps and then 50 laps again, you can do this on 2 stops and 2 sets of tires. The rule is 3 around to the left side now. Also, several of these teams have been bargaining for tires. This team only had 2 sets of sticker tires. They got a third with a 10 car, fell out. Terry Labonte's down in the way, 22.6 seconds.
You saw just what Bill Weber was talking about. He took 2 rounds of wedge out of the left rear. They went up on the air pressure, put 4 tires on it. He's down in the way. Some tires were a major concern, guys.
And they are a major concern. There's no doubt about it. They don't seem to be concerning Ricky Craven. Look how he just flies around these cars, lapping the 75 car of Brad Teague as he goes down in turn 1.
That's the 28th place car.
61 of 147 laps are complete here at the track. Too tough to train, and Ricky Craven is our leader. We'll be back. Darlington Raceway, there's our leader, the DuPont colors. Chevy Monte Carlo, Ricky Craven being shown up front in the car number 2. Behind him, Randy LaJoy is a second place car, but LaJoy is going to get some heat pretty quickly from Dale Jarrett.
LaJoy has dropped back almost 2 seconds behind the Craven right now. You can see the difference in there. You can see Jarrett right on LaJoy's back bumper.
Talked to Dale Jarrett yesterday afternoon about 5 o'clock when he was finishing practice from the 32, the Band-Aid car, talking to the crew, trying to figure out what kind of changes they were going to make before the race. I said, how's the car? He said, it's junk.
Yeah, he didn't look very good in practice there yesterday afternoon. I know they changed a lot of things on that car. Don't know what all, but looked like they made some good choices.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever choices they made, they were absolutely correct.
And on the other hand, Mark Martin looked unbeatable yesterday.
Yes, he did. And that was the discussion this morning, that, you know, who's going to run second today. Well, right now, Mark Martin's back in 5th spot. And make that 6th spot.
Boy, Jeff Purvis is on the go. All the way up to 5th place from 36th.
Well, he started back in Florence today. Purvis started about as far back in the field as you can get. There's Martin, started on the pole. Now he is in 7th. We'll change that graphic pretty quickly. Folks, he just keep flying right on by poor old Mark. And then I would imagine some of these guys up front are going to try to make it to the halfway point and make it on 1 stop.
I believe they will. I think those cars, Ricky Craven and Randy LaJoy, Dale Jarrett, and probably Purvis, David Green, even though they've been running hard, they're probably conserving their tires. Here's Jarrett trying to take over second. But I believe that they'll try to go on 1 stop.
And Dale Jarrett has moved into 2nd spot.
74 laps will be there, so they only got 6 more laps to get to the halfway point.
Maybe they can make it on 1 fuel stop. You heard Kyle Petty talking about it at the top of the show. Here's Stevie Reeves, the Clapper Girl Big A Auto Parts car.
Excuse me. They go to the left side, changing 4 tires. Todd Bodine just made a pit stop a moment ago, and he dropped a lap behind. Todd was running in the 21st position.
And we are told Mark Martin will be coming on the pit road, so he didn't quite make it to the halfway point, Benny.
No, he didn't, but with 78 laps to go, if they can make a chassis adjustment, get the car, and he might be able to make it to the end of the race. And that's what we're trying to do, is get to the window where they can make it to the end.
Yeah, I think you're right.
You got to wonder if Mark Martin may not have told Bobby Leslie, hey, they're just blowing by me out here and my tires are gone. I need to go ahead and come down pit road before we end up in the concrete. There is Purvis now trying to make a move on the 3 car of Jeff Green. That would be for the 4th position. As Mark Martin brings his car down pit road, we'll watch this pass for 4th if it's going to take place. And Purvis to the left rear quarter panel, door, fender, and he makes the pass. Let's go to Bill Weber in the pit.
Monster chassis adjustment on the Winn-Dixie 4. And they put 2 right side tires on. This will be a 4-tire change. They work on the left side. Mark sits in the car. The fuel is finished. Working on the left rear and the left front. Clean out the grill. If Mark is away, 22 seconds and change for the Winn-Dixie 4.
Boy, maybe the guy that put wedge in the car may have tendonitis in his elbow now. He cranks so hard for about 30 seconds there.
Or took wedge out of it.
Or out one.
Yeah, whichever way.
Well, he had a push. He probably
taking wedge out of the car, yeah. And we see Todd Bodine. Just look how much faster the cars are after you change tires than Jeff Green sitting out there in the 3 car with the old tires. Todd Bodine with fresh tires and just flew right by him. Now Mark Martin and these cars that have stopped, there he goes right by the 4 car, and they're just blowing by these cars.
Chad Little about to make a pit stop. Chad running in the 16th position.
We're 2 laps away from halfway. Here comes the John Deere Pontiac of Chad Little. Boy, he needs a break here in 1996 after winning 6 a year ago. He's winless here this year. Brings that car down. Gary Cogwell, Harold Holly and the crew go to work. They will change tires, fill it up with fuel.
Making some serious chassis adjustment in the right rear of that car. Going around the left sides of the John Deere car. Jacks up. You can see just how long the pit stop is because of that adjustment in the right rear.
And as he leads at 26.3 seconds, here's the Band-Aid crew now going to work on Dale Jarrett's car. Wes Ward, the crew chief. They scamper around right side, put on 2 right side tires, clean the windshield.
Don't see any chassis adjustment being made there, but that car was running very well.
Tommy uses it on the back, and the jack is falling on the right side. Now
let's go to John Curtis.
It fell off the jack on the right side. They've had Dale Jarrett is out back on the racetrack. They had to pull the sheet metal away from that right rear fender. Left side's going on. One thing, they're not putting sticker tires on. They're putting scuffed tires. But the car falling off the jack cost them about 5 seconds. But Tommy Houston, the work is finished, and he is headed down pit road.
He was being shown in the 7th position. Good run to the veteran Tommy Houston, the Suburban Propane Ford Thunderbird. Field got the halfway signal that time by. 74 complete, 74 to go.
And the leader, Ricky Craven, still out there running as we see Elliott Sadler back in the pits.
They almost stood over that white line. See the white line right with the nose of the car. If you go over that, you've got to push the car back, but almost got to it.
Jason Keller slowing down. And the 74 car, Randy LaJoy, heads down pit road. And you see Keller coming in. You'll see LaJoy right behind him. They're going to be headed down toward Kyle Petty. Kyle?
Hey, guys. Jason's pulling a good stop here now.
LaJoy's been talking about coming in for the last 3 or 4 laps. He's wanted to come in. They couldn't figure out whether to make a chassis adjustment or not. They've just been working on air pressure. They've gone up on the right front. They've gone down on the left side. They've just jacked it around left and right side. Don't think we're going to see a major chassis adjustment. It was just there. He slid through his pit. Come in too fast. He's got to back him up. They backed him up. That's going to cost him some time right there. This is going to be a 4-tire stop. There's a bunch of stuff on the grill here. He complained with these temperatures up a little bit. So this is just a basic pit stop, but it's costing you some time. There's the 4 cars. Maybe it's Spunk coming in the pits. I don't know.
He just been out coming in the pits, Kyle. I don't think, but there's no caution play because he is out of the way. And we see some damage to the left front fender of Jeff Purvis's car.
Looks like the car man got against the inside wall, man, coming in.
I think he did, Jerry, and that damage is going to hurt him. His car was flying, but now that's really going to hurt. Not only cost him a lot of time. Let's go to the pits and Bill Weber.
Well, he limps in here. The crew is disgusted. Jeff has his hands on his helmet, shaking his head. They're going to try and pull off the left side tires first. Now he shuts off the motor. They got the pull-away sheet metal, who was leading the race. They're going to need a second jack. Jeff Purvis's day is just about done. Heartbreak here, no sponsor, leading the race. Might have pushed it a little too long, run out of tires. Along that note, Ricky Craven desperately wants to pit. They're encouraging to stay out a little longer. But Purvis sits here in his wounded Chevy on pit road, talking to his crew, shaking his head, bitterly disappointed. The hammer's out, and that's never a good sign on the green.
Boy, from 36th to second, what a move by Purvis. And then coming in to make his pit stop, he has this problem. Take a look again.
Well, the problem is there's sand. What happens is it's sand, the breeze here, and there is a pretty good breeze because of the hurricane off the coast. It blows sand in that area where no cars run. You drive off the racetrack, you get in that sand and lose control. Kyle Petty.
Here comes the Caterpillar car. The Caterpillar car's in the pits. They have done the same thing. They've watched the 74 car. They've been monitoring other people. They've been thinking, okay, let's go halfway. Let's stretch it a little bit further. What you've seen, though, is Mark Martin and those guys get 4 tires and come out there and make such great time on new tires. They can't afford to stay out there any longer. Bill Weber?
Ricky Craven made it 80 laps. Now 4 tires for the DuPont Chevy. No chassis adjustments so far that I've seen. Right tires are on. Fuel going in. Cleaning the windshield. 95 returns to the race. Plenty of fuel. Craven down and away in a hurry. 18.4 seconds for Craven.
Wow, what a great pit stop by these guys.
What a pit stop by Craven's crew. That's his own Busch Grand National crew out of Concord. Here comes Jeff Green. He wobbles the car, the Goodrich Chevrolet car, driving for Dale and Teresa Earnhardt. He was the leader. Now Craven had a 12.4 second lead over Green when he pitted. But here's Green headed for the pits. Let's go down to Kyle Petty.
As Jeff Green comes in the pits, I'm looking at their tires. They're putting stuffs on. The 2 cars beside of me, the 95 and the 74, they've all put stickers on. These guys are going with stuff, which may be a little bit harder because they've had heat cycle to them once or twice. It's just a basic pit stop. He's changing right side tires. They're going to come around and make the left side. I don't see any chassis adjustment at all. Maybe they've made a tire pressure change somewhere before I got up this way. I'm a little crippled right now. I'm not moving that fast. But pretty good pit stop right now.
They took 1 round out of the right rear. The car a little bit too loose, so they added a little bit of wedge to it. And 26.1.
That's been about the average of a Busch pit stop, 26.1 seconds. But Craven, a little over 18 seconds, folks. He gained 8 seconds, and he already had a fast race car. So
I think those guys have been practicing, is what I think. Whoa. Hermie Sadler has to pit, but right now he is the leader. And Dale Jarrett goes blowing by him.
That put Dale back in the lead lap is the way that I see it here right now.
While we wait on Hermie Sadler to bring in the DeWalt Peoples Department Store Chevrolet, we'll take a quick break as leader pit stops have occurred. Still waiting for Hermie to make his stop. Back to the track 2 tuck to pave in a moment. Back at Darlington Raceway, watching the Peoples Department Store DeWalt Chevrolet. That's the roof cam for Hermie Sadler. First time he's ever led at Darlington Raceway. He is our leader here at lap 86. Now he's out of sequence from the other cars that pitted a moment ago. He pitted back on lap 28. You can drive on the Information Superhighway, NASCAR online, www.nascar.com. Bring you the same real-time electronic timing and scoring that Winston Cup Series officials use to monitor the races. You can watch the progress of any car on the track, and you'll be able to send email directly to NASCAR to tell them what's on your mind. That's NASCAR online, www.nascar.com.
Did you say the Superhighway?
Superhighway.
This Super Speedway.
All right, Super Speedway.
Super Speedway. Learn what's going on in Darlington. And we see Jeff Green blowing by his brother, David Green.
Must be something about them black cars.
I guess so.
I don't know who that was. I guess David Green's spotter.
I'd say so. He's got a little black on his car, too. Not as much as Jeff has. They are being shown in 14th and 15th position, 1 lap down. Now, Hermie Sadler, as a result of going that long, is going to keep a lot of cars a lap down until he makes his pit stop. Right now, there are only 7 cars being shown on the lead lap, and that is Hermie Sadler, Ricky Craven is 2nd, Terry Labonte 3rd, Dale Jarrett 4th, Hut Strickland is 5th, Mark Martin just moved into 5th and moved Hut Strickland back to 6th. And so now there are only 6 cars because the 63 car, Curtis Martin, just went lap down.
Our AutoZone race recap. Our leader is Hermie Sadler, has led 7 of 87 laps so far. There have been 4 lead changes, 3 cautions for 14 laps. Average speed 124.170. Our leaders, there's Terry Labonte, Ricky Craven, Randy LaJoy, Hermie Sadler has led 7 laps. Mark Martin, who's starting on the pole, only led 2 laps. Out of race so far here at Darlington. Bobby Donner, Tim Feedema, Phil Parsons, Dennis Setzer, and L.W. Miller.
Well, here is some close racing.
Mike Dillon in the 72 Detroit gasket cars being passed by Jeff Green. The Goodrich Chevrolet, that's Tony Stewart in the red, white 15, and Buckshot Jones, 0-0. Still a little smoke coming out of the back of that car.
Whoa, trouble in turn 2. One car just bounced off the wall. Great camera shot, guys. That was Jimmy Spencer, who did a whiff of a job to be able to save that Mark III car. It was already about 45 degrees out of shape and just bounced the rear end off the concrete. Got a little stripe on it.
Man, and he still continues on. Wow. Jimmy. It says Mark III on the quarter panel of the 77 car.
It's a car owned by Dan Browder. Here's last week's winner. Boy, what a week it was for Jim Fuller.
Good job.
Gets by Mike McLaughlin.
Plenty of room, Jeff. Plenty of room. Set sail.
He's being shown 2 laps down in 25th position. Jeff Fuller is.
We saw Larry Pierce in the car that he just passed a moment ago, and Larry Pearson is 2 laps down, so his bad luck continues in 1996. There he is, the Stanley Jules car.
You heard speculation at the beginning of the show by John Kernan and some of the others that they may be out of equipment. They may be calling it quits after today. They lost a car in qualifying at Bristol last week, lost a car during the race. It's the only race car they got left. If they don't keep this car intact, they won't be going to Richmond, but we will next Friday night for Busch Series action, and of course Saturday night for Winston Cup.
And Thursday night for the trucks. We'll be there Thursday night, Friday night, and Saturday night. Richmond International Raceway. The Craftsman trucks. Oh, blow up! 34 car just lets go down the backstretch.
Mike McLaughlin in the car 34. He was being shown in 9th position.
A classic example of just how fast an engine can let go.
He was 10th overall in the point standing. Still no caution flag yet. He gets the car down out of the groove and comes down pit road. We're still under green here in Darlington.
But Hermie Sadler would like to have seen a caution here right now, because he is going to have to make another pit stop. He's still the leader, but he does have a pit stop still to come. There is the leader.
Well, let's show you what happened a moment ago to Mike McLaughlin coming out of turn 2.
That's him on the outside. The red and yellow car on the outside of Elliott Sadler. And you see just there some smoke coming out the exhaust pipe on the 34 car. And watch as all of a sudden it just explodes. Man. And all the exhaust, all the smoke coming out the exhaust pipe, that is serious trouble.
Well, the old cliche about hand grenading an engine, that really applies there. It just went boom. Came completely apart. Tough break for McLaughlin. Hermie hangs on. Hermie Sadler has finished a second at Hickory early this year, really trying to turn his year around. Let's check in his pits with Bill Weber.
Well, I walked up to their crew this morning and I said, well, Elliott Sadler's in the 29 car. Now, Mike Sadler is it that drives this one? And Hermie's sister slugged me. They said, look out, we're going to be pretty good. They pitted on lap 28. They're going about 10 more laps, but Hermie's getting some extra help today. His crew chief, John Munson, normally here on pit road, is high above this track on top of the tower, spotting today and calling all the shots from up there. They elected to pit early just in case this happened. When the 34 blew up, they were cheering for the caution, rooting for NASCAR to put out the caution, but it never came out. They'd dearly love to see one now. Hermie's closing in on a desperate pit stop.
And one of the reasons John Monson went to become a spotter, the crew chief, is because of what happened at IRP, Ned, when Hermie was running second late in the race and the track was blocked in turn 3 and he barreled right into him, ended up just partially destroying a race car.
Yeah, that spotter can have a lot to do with that. He right now enjoys an 18-second lead over Ricky Craven, but when he comes in the pits, he's going to be lucky to stay in the lead lap. He should be able to stay in the lead lap if he makes a good pit stop. Buckshot Jones is back in the pits making a pit stop. He's being shown in 18th place, 1 lap down.
Ricky Pearson, Eddie Pearson, and the rest of that Billy Jones crew now going to work making an adjustment. We're closing in on lap 100, just 1 lap away. Hermie Sadler, our leader here at Darlington. Back in a moment. Back at Darlington Raceway, Hermie Sadler continuing to lead here. We're over 100 laps, 102 to be exact. And this race, this Busch Series event, will re-air in its entirety at 4:30 p.m. this afternoon on ESPN Classic. And remember, tomorrow we got a lot coming your way at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN2 NASCAR Today. And then Bob Jenkins will be here to call the action live. Our flag-to-flag coverage of the Winston Select Million. Yeah, it's the 47th running of the Mountain Dew Southern 500. 1 o'clock Eastern on ESPN. Let's go down to John Kernan, who's standing by with Larry Pearson.
Larry Pearson has pulled it into the garage area. The hood is up. Larry, what is it, the motor?
Yeah, it finally went on us. It was just a matter of time, I guess. We, you know, Kevin he's done a heck of a job motors this year, and today when we cranked it up, it didn't sound too good. We really didn't have time to change it, so. But actually, we were running pretty darn good. He patched it up for us, Kevin did, and we're running pretty darn good there. I know when we got a lap down to Craven there, we were able to run with him, you know, and stay pretty close to him. As a matter of fact, I think we could catch him down in 1 and 2, but, you know, it's just one of those. It's typical the way our year's been.
Speaking of your year, you're going to be at Richmond next week. Speculation is this could be the team's last race.
That's a possibility. I mean, I'll go talk to the car owner and we'll find out.
Larry Pearson obviously very disappointed as his day has come to an end with motor problem, Jerry.
We're looking at the second place car. That 2-car, Ricky Craven, is second place. And right behind him, Ned, is Terry Labonte.
He has run him down. Ricky had about a 4-second lead on Terry Labonte after they made their pit stops, and now he has caught him. However, they're running in second and third place. That lead that Hermie Sadler had that was over 18 seconds a little bit ago is down now to about 14 seconds. So he's lost 4 seconds on the racetrack. But remember, his tires are very old. Hermie will be coming in before too long. But that lead is shrinking, and certainly the second place position is up for grabs here.
And Ned Brandon-LaJoie just unlapped himself, and the car number 47 just went by. He is now only 1 lap down. That, of course, last week's winner. And Hermie, we heard, maybe making an entry on the onto pit road sometime in the next couple of laps. He pitted on lap 28, so he will have run 79 laps, making 80 laps this time by.
Well, certainly he was waiting, hoping to catch a caution. But he's waited about as long as he can now because those tires get older, his speeds get slower, and he's just losing that much more time on the racetrack. He's got to pit so that he can stay in the lead lap after making a green flag pit stop.
Yeah, that'd be the toughest break of all, to make the pit stop and then the caution flag and lose a lap and then the caution flag come out. So
with a good pit stop, he can do that. He's far enough in front now that he can make a pit stop and remain on the lead lap.
He has gone 81 laps since his last pit stop. There goes his younger brother Elliott by in the car 29. And no one has run that far. 81 laps on a set of tires on a tire where it was a huge concern. We are less than 40 laps to the conclusion.
He's coming in the pits, and he spins out. He spins out trying to get in the pits. That doggone sand that got him, he made a late entry on the pit road. He made a late entry on the pit road and got in the sand and spun out. Now he's got to back up. Oh, my goodness.
Now he's got to go all the way around. He was already too far past the end of pit road. He's got to go around. That was a costly mistake.
Well, that's a primary example of the kind of terrible luck Hermie Sadler has had this year. 6 different times he's been running in the top 5 late in the race and had a problem that's cost him a chance, either a good top 5 finish or even a top 10 finish.
And now he's going to make his pit stop and be a lap down. Yep. Once again, watch as he comes in pits. First of all, he decides late to come into pits. And now we'll see, I don't know if we can see the sand or not. No, we can't see the sand, but when he turns the car to try to get down under the wall, around it goes. Man, what a tough break. What a tough break for Hermie Sadler.
And Ricky Craven, of course, has retaken the lead now.
Another angle this time from the roof cam of the DeWalt Peebles Chevrolet.
Yeah, Benny, that was a very late entry into the pits. He had to almost just turn it square left. And to do that, you got to be slow.
And with 82 laps on those tires, there's no way they're going to grip the racetrack when he just cranked it hard left. There's the crew now, the DeWalt crew now changing tires on Herbie Sadler. Bill Weber's there.
Well, his car's okay, but Herbie's crushed. They warned him on the radio, be careful on the sand when you pit. Be careful. He's got more tires. And now the caution comes out.
What a tough break. Hut Strickland down in turn 1. In the wall, brings out the caution flag. Herbie Sadler's luck just continues to get worse.
Unbelievable, the kind of luck Herbie's had this year. You hate it for Hut Strickland, but if the caution had come out just 3 laps ago, Herbie would have been the leader, been able to make the pit stop, and there would only been about 10 or 11 cars on the lead lap. Let's check with John Kernan.
Jerry, about 12, 14 laps ago, Hutton Strickland had radioed his crew and said he thought he had a right rear tire going down. Looked like the tire was up when he went by just a moment ago here on the backstretch, but he called the crew and said, hey, I just flat lost it.
Boy, he almost got T-boned on pit road as Hut pulled in, and that was Patty Moise coming around trying to exit the pits, and Hut just trying to get what's left of his battered Smoky Mountain Chew car back behind the wall.
And the leaders are all coming down pit road.
10-4.
And Ricky Craven decided to stay on the racetrack. Why on earth? Or is he pitted in the back?
No, he's not pitted in the back.
5's in the pits, 60 in the pits. There's Terry Labonte getting service on his car. Right behind them, the 60 car. Mark Martin, Bill Weber is down there. Bill?
4 tires for Terry Labonte on the 5. They made a chassis adjustment, and 4 tires for Mark Martin on the 60. Now the 3 and the 74 and 95 all go by. The 5 is away, waiting on Mark. The 60 is down. He returns to the race.
And the 74 car is right in front of you, Kyle Petty.
Benny LaJoy slides to a stop. He gets in his pit box this time. Those guys, as you saw him come down pit road, the 5 car was already leaving pit road as the 74, the 95, and the 3 come down. One of his tires has gotten loose and rolled across pit road here. These are all just regular pit stops. I don't see any chassis adjustments. They made a few iron pressure changes on the 74. Go!
Page is in for a 4 tire change. Remember, early in this race, he spun out, came in, had to change tires, didn't really hurt the car too much. Well, he's been back in the top 10 the rest of the day after making his way back from the back of the pack. Crew swings around to the left side. One other note, Kevin told me prior to the start of the race today, said, I feel terrible. He has a bad cold. Let's go back to the front stretch and Bill Weber.
Ricky Craven missed pit road. He apologized to his crew. This will be a 4-tire stop in fuel. But he told his crew chief, Kevin Caldwell, as soon as the caution comes out, we've got to discuss what we're going to do. He missed pit road. He apologized. He's getting 4 tires. DuPont Chevy down and away. Ricky Craven returns to the race. Could be heartbreaking.
Well, there are 10 cars on the lead lap. Remember a while back we said there were 6 cars on the lead lap. When Herbie Sadler had his problems, that put some more cars back on the lead lap. So right now there are 10 cars. Ricky Craven will be at the tail end of those 10 cars.
Let's show you what happened to pull out the caution, Benny.
Well, we see on high against the wall going by the scoreboard now is Hut Strickland. I happened to be watching the car when he went down in turn 1, and just like he said, he goes to the corner, the back end goes around, he slides up the racetrack, the right rear catches the wall, and that brings the right front in the wall. Some pretty heavy damage to the Smoky Mountain Chew car.
Well, what a shootout we're going to be set for here at Darlington. 33 laps remain under caution for the 4th time a day. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Back with the NASCAR Busch Grand National Series at Darlington Raceway. Dura Lube 200 presented by AutoZone. Under caution for the 4th time a day. The driver who brought this caution flag out is standing by with John Kernan.
Well, Hut Strickland, I know about 12, 15 laps before that wreck, you radioed in and told the crew you thought you had a right rear tire going down. Is that what happened out there?
Well, no, I thought it was right rear, but then the longer I got running there, it just seemed like the thing was getting looser and looser, and usually if the right rear is going down, it'll get tighter. So as it turned out, the right front was what was going down. It was very hard to feel that, but, you know, it just you know, it was just disappointing. I tell you, we had a good run going in the Smoky Mountain Chew Ford, and it's one of them bad luck things, you know, we'll have to shake.
Did you cut the right front, or did it wear down?
No, actually the thing still had a lot of wear left on it. You know, we'd pitted there and then coming back, and we got the car really adjusted good, and I didn't really feel like to me it was wearing it out at all. You know, Goodyear had just an awesome tire here today, and you know, I tell you, my hat's off to them guys. I tell you, they've done a good job at this racetrack to come up with such a good tire.
Well, Hut Strickland is out of it. He hit the wall a ton, but he's okay, Jerry.
And, John, he will start 10th tomorrow in the Circuit City Ford. Good qualifying effort for Hut Strickland. He will start outside of row 5 in the Mountain Dew Southern 500.
I tell you one thing, business is going to pick up right now. Because all these guys, they don't have to worry about tires. They don't have to worry about anything except beating that car in front of them. Hermie Sadler is on the tail end of the lead lap. He needs to worry about staying in front of that 5 car. So,
hey, Benny, that little wall up there with all those little black stripes, I'd worry about that if I was them. All right, let's watch this replay here. Watch the car 2 of Craven. See the pace car come out. And the pace car coming on the track to pick up the 2 car, and the 1 car had already gone by.
The 2 car took the caution flag on 3/4 of a lap before that.
Yeah.
Now the pace car is picking him up.
Yeah. Yeah. So Sadler's on the tail end of the lead lap.
Yes, they have it exactly right.
His crew was arguing that they beat the 2 car back, but as Benny said, the 2 car had taken the caution flag over here on the start-finish line. The pace car came out going into turn 3.
Right.
All right, we settled that. So there are 11 cars in the lead lap.
Green flag, go. Green, 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 green.
Now we see Craven ducking to the outside, trying to go by LaJoy, and he does it. But meanwhile, there goes Sadler, trying to get by Derek Cope. And he's able to accomplish that. And here comes Terry Labonte in that fair car. Oh, baby.
Now he's got the position.
And so he will put Sadler 1 lap down as they head out of turn 4.
Sadler in the 11th position.
So Mark Martin and Terry Labonte, the front row, back in 1st and 2nd. Only it's flip-flop. Mark Martin started on the pole, and now Terry Labonte is in front.
Let's see what that chassis adjustment did earlier. They cranked and cranked and cranked about 4.5 rounds of light out of the car. Martin had a severe push early in the race. They have adjusted on that car. Bobby Leslie and that Winn-Dixie crew, and now he's about a half a car length behind the Chevy of Terry Labonte. There's the top 10 left side of your screen. Dale Jarrett, David Green, and Craven.
Mark Martin wants to get by that 5 car, and then while his tires are still cold.
Exactly, because as those tires heat up, it gets much tougher to pass them. But Terry Labonte's got on fresh tires, too.
Yes, he does. And right now, it looks like he's put a couple of car lengths on Mark Martin.
Terry Labonte has led 40 laps now today as of the restart.
Just a couple of laps ago, look at this. Who is that? Is that Jimmy Spencer again? Looks like this is the 77 car of Spencer.
Well, he's having all kinds of fun with that steering wheel in turn 2 today. Spencer hanging on again.
Very few people could bring that thing back from that sideways position.
Boy, indeed, he is a talented race driver. There's Craven and LaJoy, 5th and 6th.
And we see David Green directly in front of them. So LaJoy, as good as he was doing in points 100 laps ago, right now losing points to the leader, David Green.
Field summary showing your favorite. That's David Green's spotter you're listening to there. David Green driving the 95 Caterpillar car owned by Buzz McCall.
And going down LaJoy. Spotters forewarning that the 00 of Buckshot Jones is slow on the inside of the racetrack. They're able to negotiate by him, no problem.
Is the point leader, the 2 of Craven, not running for points, primarily runs the Winston Cup Tour, and behind him the 74 car of LaJoy. They are 4th, 5th, and 6th. Good run for Jeff Green back there in the Goodrich Chevy in 7th spot. 40 47 car you seen a moment ago, left side of your screen. There's the Goodrich Chevrolet Jeff Green. The 47 car, which won last week, being shown a lap down in 14th spot. That is Jeff Fuller.
Joy all over Ricky Craven. There he gets a nose up under him. He's going to get him this time going into turn 3. He's got the preferred line.
Randy on the bottom, Ricky up high, and Jeff. Clear. You heard the spotter say clear. That was LaJoy. Said, slide on up there, big guy. Right in front of Craven.
Dick Trickle back in the Dura Lube car. That's also for position. You see he's running 8th place. Our scoring pylon on the left side, the top 10 cars. The line divides the first 5, the second 5.
You're wondering what the top 2 will. Terry Labonte and Mark Martin, who just pulled away from the 3rd place car of Dale Jarrett. Labonte has about a 7 or 8 car length lead over Mark Martin, as they will have 20 to go this time by. There they are. There is Terry Labonte. Make that separation about 10 car lengths back to Mark Martin in 2nd spot. 20 to go here at the track Too Tough to Tame. It's NASCAR Busch Series racing at its best. We'll be right back. At Darlington, you're looking at a couple of thunderheads here. Stevie Reeves, former 2-time midget USAC champion, and right in front of him, Tony Stewart, cut their teeth on some of the action tracks in the Midwest, and that's where we're headed come Wednesday night. It's auto racing excitement on the Deuce, Wednesday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. ESPN 2's Thunder makes its first trip to the action track in Terre Haute, Indiana. 33 starters take to the track in the Hut 100. Yeah, it's the final Thunder of the year coming up Wednesday, 9:30 p.m. ESPN 2 Thunder. And take a look at who's trying to reel in Terry Labonte. Mark Martin getting a little bit closer.
Yes, moved in within a couple of car lengths now. And you can see Dale Jarrett's 4 seconds behind. His car seems to have picked up a push with that last set of tires. And these two right here are driving away.
David Green still leading LaJoy in positions. He's a half a second behind David Green. This is down the backstretch. We'll watch Mark Martin go in turn 3. Looks like he gains up in this part of the racetrack.
Labonte and Martin. Terry Labonte has never won in Busch Series competition here at Darlington. His first Winston Cup victory came here at the track Too Tough to Tame back in August of 1980. Won the Southern 500.
Well, Mark Martin should be able to pass Labonte because they are running 2 entire different lines down in 1 and 2. Labonte runs on the high side of the racetrack and Mark Martin down on the bottom of the racetrack.
So he wouldn't be in the way, would he?
No, he's not going to be in the way if he can. But if you can ever catch him, that's the key.
Here's David Green coming up on Dale Jarrett.
We mentioned there are 10 cars in the lead lap and back 9th and 10th. Got to give a call to these couple of drivers. How about this guy, Tommy Houston, back in 10th spot. A little smoke coming out of the Suburban Propane Ford. Houston trying to hang on to get a 10th place finish. That is 51 years of age, and in front of him is the car 88 of Kevin LePage, driving for David Ridley. And LePage had a problem early. He spun in one of the early caution flags. Looky here, the front straightaway, and Labonte slides around up in front of Mark Martin. Labonte had gone underneath a lap car.
That was Ron Barfield that they went by, and they split one on the inside, one on the outside. Well, meanwhile, Mark Martin is there.
And Benny, they close in on 10 laps to go. We got 12 to go this time by. In fact, make it 11 as they come by. Show you a replay of what happened a moment ago to Terry Labonte.
There we see Barfield, the blue and white car. He comes off the corner, and they're side by side. So Labonte decides to go on the inside of both of them. Clear down almost to the inside wall. Barfield then moves over to let the 60 car go by. And Martin, with his momentum, almost able to catch Terry Labonte.
And we showed you a moment ago that Tommy Houston had some smoke. John, what's the problem?
As far
far as the smoke goes, Tommy thinks that it's oil smoke. The spotter says he thinks it's tire smoke, but he's also got another problem. The gas pedal has been sticking on him the last few laps, so he's have to push it down and then stick his toe under it and pull it back up. So Tommy's got a handful out there, but he's trying to hang on to get a top 10 finish.
I think Martin's going to have to depend on some slow traffic. There we see Jeff Green, the 3 car, the 2, Ricky Craven. It's a battle for 7th spot, 7th and 8th. Nemechek, the 87 car, is not in the lap with these cars.
He's a lap down, Benny, being shown back in 12th position.
Well, that shows how important track position is. Ricky Craven made that mistake, didn't come into the pits when the leaders did, found himself caught back in the back, but makes a pass on the outside. That's a pretty gutsy move.
He did that early in the race. He was able to do that. You know, I think that Mark Martin's got a problem catching the Terry Labonte car, because a moment ago he moved up the racetrack just like he is there and ran that same line that Labonte was running, trying to find a faster way around the racetrack, which told me that I'm having trouble in my line catching him. Let's try something different. There we see David Green trying to take over that 3rd spot.
Harris's car is pushing so bad down in turns 1 and 2 that he just can't get off of the 2nd corner.
And then, speaking of pushing, David Green's going to get pushed in a moment by the guy he's behind him in the point standings, Randy LaJoie. LaJoie back in 5th position. That's a 74 car, the blue car top of your screen. That is 3rd, 4th, and 5th.
There you see Jarrett's car go up. David Green gets under him, and he'll have him going into turn 3. He's got that preferred line going into the turn. LaJoie will probably come right on by also.
Clear.
Oh, boy, did he dive in that corner.
Go, buddy. Just keep it digging.
Spotters telling him just keep it digging. Laps winding down. There'll be 5 to go this time by.
All right. Right now is Mark Martin's best opportunity, because right in front of these leaders is about 3 or 4 slow cars running close together. If Terry Labonte catches him at the wrong spot, Mark Martin will have a head of steam and blow right by him. Patty Moise to 14. They're able to get by her with no problem. But now those 3 cars, it just depends on where Labonte is able to catch those cars. If he can do it on the straightaway, he's home free. If he catches him in turn 3, it may be a problem for him.
Yeah, he gets by that 1, okay, on the outside.
But Mark Martin got hung up just a little bit. Now here's 63, Curtis Markham. If he has to check up right now a little bit, Mark will be coming strong.
Markham is the blue car. Jimmy Spencer right in front of Martin. And now Labonte has to slow down and try to get underneath Markham. Exactly what you said, Benny Parsons, and that let Martin really miss.
But Martin had to check up a little bit, too, because they had the racetrack blocked. If Markham had suddenly moved over, Mark Martin would be our leader now. You see that Dick Trickle, the Dura Lube car, was able to get by Randy LaJoie. And here we go. A slow car in the way. That's Spencer, and Labonte's still able to stay in front.
Wow,
here he comes. Can't do it.
Can't quite do it. Back to momentum for the Chevrolet for Terry Labonte. Got up high on the racetrack. They'll get 2 to go next time by.
Trying to stop Mark Martin from winning 4 in a row.
There we go for the 3rd spot. Look at old Dick Trickle coming on strong.
He is moving.
Oh, the Dixter and the Dura Lube Chevy. Boy, wouldn't Trickle like to have a good finish in the Dura Lube race. There's a 74 car back in 5th spot now. He has fallen back a little bit. There's Dale Jarrett, who had that pushing problem. You heard Ned comment. Now Jarrett trying to fend off Jeff Green.
Not going to be able to do it.
No, his car's just gotten worse and worse, so he's going back to 8th position now. Was 3rd about 5 seconds.
Meanwhile, our leader's taking the white flag. There we see the Carl Simmons waving the white on the field as he goes by.
time. Mark Martin trying to keep that string alive.
Well, Labonte has a good lead, but he's running up on Mike Dillon coming through the turn here, and I don't think Dillon's going to let him by, but he probably has a big enough lead that he's going to hold him on.
Out of turn 4, Terry Labonte will come down for the checkered flag and pick up his 3rd win in 1996. Here's a battle to the flag.
Points leaders 1st and 2nd. Here they come, and it's Davey Green beating LaJoy, and then going to be 4th spot.
Boy, there's the Terry Labonte crew. Bob Labonte. Let's go down to their pits and Bill Weber.
And the crew is celebrating here. A big win for Terry Labonte coming across the finish line first, able to hold off Mark Martin. His crew chief, of course, is his father, Bob Labonte, who has done an excellent job here again today. And it's a great win for Terry Labonte and his crew chief, Bob Labonte. Of course, have got the big win tomorrow. Bob Labonte, congratulations. Big win for you.
Thank you. It was a good win. Anytime he beat Mark Martin, you know, we consider it a hell of a win. But, you know, we got a good crew head with a driver like I got. Not much of a job for me.
He was coming, too, Mark. They almost got you in traffic there.
I know it. Them lap cars, they think they're the only people on the track, you know.
Bob Labonte and Terry Labonte heading to victory lane.
That guy does tell it like it is.
Oh, he does, doesn't he? Bob's not only a good crew chief, he's a proud papa. And his son, Texas Terry, headed to victory lane. When we come back, we'll talk to him. Back at Darlington, Texan Terry Labonte in victory lane for the first time in a Busch Series car.
Good job,
Let's go down to Kyle Petty.
Terry, you didn't know during the race, they said they were going to give a $1 million bonus to anybody who could stop Mark Martin's streak. What do you think about that, man? Good. You ran a great race out there. I mean, you ran a totally different groove up off, too. Did your tires go away towards the end a little bit?
It went away, and I had to move up the racetrack a little bit, and I could really get a good run off the corner, though, when I did that. I could get in the throttle early, and that's where I could beat Mark. Then the lap traffic was awful tough there. You know, I got hung up behind some guys there, and Mark made a couple of runs at me there, and I thought he was going to get me. But our Actron Chevy ran great today, and all the guys on the team did a great job, so I'm thrilled. We've come close to winning the past few Busch races, but we've come up short.
I hadn't been to victory lane in a long time. It's nice to be here. I'm glad I got to come interview you anyhow. Do you think you got anything for these guys tomorrow? Dale's running for that $1 million tomorrow.
Dale ran awful good in practice today. It was one of the quickest cars. Our car was off a little bit. We weren't as good as we needed to be, but we've made some changes, and I'm sure Gary DeHart's got it dialed in for this last practice.
Well, congratulations, guys.
Hey, Kyle.
Yeah, man.
Hey, you guys are in victory lane. Turn around, give us a big thumbs up.
Thumbs up, dude. There you go.
All right, there we go.
How about that? A pair of tough race drivers. Terry Labonte in victory lane. His 3rd Busch win of 1996. His 10th career Busch Grand National win comes in his 86 start. We'll be back to Darlington after this. Our Speed World coverage of the NASCAR Busch Series Dura Lube 200 has been brought to you by Daytona USA, the ultimate motorsports attraction. By the more than 1,400 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts. And by the NASCAR story. To order, call 800-71-NASCAR. Let's go down to John Kernan.
Hey, guys, look who I found. They're in a bitter points battle. But these guys, you know, they've been joking around and everything. Randy LaJoy finished 5th. David Green finished 4th. Randy, what happened? We thought you were going to catch him there at the end.
We chased it all day. We were real good at the beginning. And the second set of tires a little loose, and the last set of tires a little tight. And, hey, we gave it the best shot we could. Had a good day.
David, now you guys, Randy was running up in the top 5. He led for a while, and it seems like you guys struggled in the early going. Finally got it together, huh?
Well, we really didn't struggle, John, as much as just starting 16th. I'm not used to that, and it's pretty tough back here. But the car ran really well, and we just made up some time a little bit as we go. But I look up, you know, Randy's leading, so that doesn't make me feel very good. So, but we ended up good, and Randy and I raced pretty hard there at the end. And I just want to thank Kurt and all the guys for really putting their head together over the night and making a wholesale change on this car to make it better today without no practice. So I got to give them the call of the day for giving me a good race car.
Let's go over to Bill Weber now.
Okay, well, Dale Jarrett's just finished running the Busch race. He's sitting here in the Winston Cup garage. And I believe they were discussing tires because Brad Parrott was in there, and he's in charge of the tires. Larry McReynolds is in there. Ernie Irvin walked over here a couple of minutes ago. What they're trying to do is take everything that Dale Jarrett just gained in the last 200 miles and put that into the 88 car, and of course help out the 28 car as well. He's got $1 million run here Sunday afternoon. You'll see it live on ESPN. That's one of the reasons, as Ned talked about earlier, he had a sponsor commitment and he loves to race, but he's able to get his rhythm and get some notes here and some information and put it forward into his Winston Cup ride for tomorrow. So you can see Dale is talking to Larry McReynolds, the crew chief on the 28, and Ernie's standing here listening as well. So we'll keep watching this, and if we get a chance, we'll poke our head in there and find out exactly what they're discussing. Let's go back up top right now.
Well, they could give you a million reasons why that debriefing is so important. I tell you what, the point standings after this event with just 5 remaining, it was a 95-point margin. Take a look now. David Green, Randy LaJoy, the separation up front. Jeff Green, Todd Bodine, Curtis Markham, Jeff Purvis, Keller Parsons, Kevin LePage, and Chad Little. Parsons was 7th coming in, had the problem early, now drops back to 8th, 766 points back of the 7th place. Results, our unofficial results. Terry Labonte picks up his 3rd win of the year. Mark Martin in 2nd spot. Margin of victory there, 0.81 seconds.
And 10 cars in the lead lap. Tommy Houston finishes 10th spot. Good run, LePage. Jarrett was able to hang on for 8th. Hermes Sadler, after that tough break, spinning, trying to get in pit road, does finish 11th, 1 lap down. And we see Little, Nemechek, Todd Bodine, and Fuller, last week's winner.
See, 3 other cars 1 lap down: Sawyer, Combs, and Reeves. Then you go to Ward Burton, number 22, and about 4 or 5 cars there that were 2 laps down, and then a host of cars that were 3 laps down.
The remainder of the field, 43 cars started today. You see the cars that are out from Hut Strickland on back had trouble early on. Larry Pearson still undecided as to whether that team will even make it to Richmond next week, or will be on Friday night for the Busch Series action. Mike McLaughlin, tough day. That engine erupting there in the backstretch. He finishes in 38th spot. And, of course, Bobby Dotter gets a finish back in 43rd position. This guy right here goes for $1 million tomorrow. 1 race, 1 chance, 1 million. Boy, he looks like he's concentrating on what happened today and thinking about tomorrow. Drama builds here at Darlington tomorrow. This man, 39-year-old Dale Jarrett, will have 1 chance, 1 race for $1 million. He will start from the pole. Yeah, that's the speed, and he was smiling yesterday. He's got the best shot. Clean racetrack, and we're going to bring you all the action live, flag to flag, 1 o'clock Eastern time. Yeah, it's the 47th running of the Mountain Dew Southern 500, and the Winston Select Million is up for grabs. Let's go to Bill Weber.
Well, the fans, if you've never been to Happy Hour, we're taking you someplace you don't normally go. We're in Dale Jarrett's office right now. He's sitting in front of his Ford getting ready for the final hour. First of all, the Busch race, you had a pretty good run.
Yeah, it went good. Car was really better than what we finished. The last set of tires we put on, we made a slight adjustment to tighten it up a little bit, but I don't know, something happened to one of the tires, but it really started pushing and just couldn't get going there.
How critical a step was that race, Dale, toward tomorrow? Were you able to learn anything?
Well, I think I've got a good idea of what we need to do, where we need to be here, exactly what the track does, the fast way around here, it looked like with this race tire. So that was critical. I was glad we were able to run the whole race and have a car that was capable of running up front.
And you met with your crew. The guys do a lot of work in the garage while you're racing in the Busch Series.
Yeah, we had a lot going on here. They knew exactly what was going on out there because we were on the same radio channel. They knew exactly what was happening, so I think we're in pretty good shape.
Okay, Dale Jarrett, a friendly smile, ready to go to work. To John Kernan with Kevin LePage.
Well, a great run by Kevin LePage, considering he spun out early in the race. But first thing, guys, that he asked me was, hey, who won the race? Well, Kevin, Terry Labonte did. I guess you didn't have to worry about that part of the race because you and Tommy Houston were really going at it the last few laps.
Well, that's true. You know, we talked earlier this morning, and I didn't feel good. You know, still don't feel that great. But the Farmer's Choice Chevrolet, Hedro, and Emily Security Central, you know, all these guys stuck behind me, gave me a shot 14 weeks ago. We came here yesterday, and I just busted the lap. You know, I didn't have a good qualifying lap and got myself way back 32nd. Then all of a sudden, I know 20 laps in the race, I get turned around, flat spotted all 4 tires, and came back in, started at the rear, and I'll tell you, the guys did a super job getting me in and out of the pits. And there at the end, you know, Tommy and myself, you know, we were going at it. You know what? He got by me one time, and I got back by him, you know, the old Earnhardt move, and I mean, he was a master. He's the one that kind of taught me because I watched him, and I always was amazed how he did it here. And we didn't just do it once, we did it 4 times, you know. And after we took checkers, Tommy put on the side of me, thumbs up. And I'll tell you, you know, that's a veteran right there.
And we gained a lot of respect, and there was times where he could have hung me out there, I could have hung him out, but we didn't. This place here has been good to me. I really love Darlington, and another top 10 finish. We've been together now 14 weeks at 7 top 10 finishes for this young race team. Can't say enough for C.R. Miller, David Ridland. You know, these guys here put me together, and you know, we've had our ups and downs, but I'll tell you right now, you know, we're all on a high, and if you look at the way our season's been going, we'll have a good weekend and a bad weekend, a good weekend and a bad weekend. That's just a testimony how good this race team is to bounce back from a bad weekend.
A great run, top 10 finish, 9th place for Kevin LePage, even with a bad cold, Jerry.
Can you tell he was excited or what? Yeah, go, Speed Racer, go, folks. These people here in the stands today know what's at stake this weekend. Look at the weekend rundown coming your way later today. Speed Week at 4 o'clock Eastern time on ESPN. We're going to re-air at 4:30 the Dura Lube 200. That'll be on ESPN Classic. You'll be able to see this action all over again. 5:30 p.m. Eastern time, IndyCar qualifying from Vancouver. Tomorrow, RPM today at noon on ESPN2. NASCAR today following at 12:30 on the Deuce. Then our live flag-to-flag coverage of the Mountain Dew Southern 500 coming up at 1 o'clock Eastern time on ESPN. 4:30 p.m. IndyCar on the grid. The Molson Indy from Vancouver at 5 p.m. and RPM tonight, 8 o'clock Eastern time.
Ned, I think I learned why Dale Jarrett ran that race today, because I really think he learned a great deal about tomorrow's race.
Yeah, I think he did.
Coming up next, Unlimited Hydroplane Racing. For Bill Weber, John Kernan, Kyle Petty, Ned Jarrett, and Benny Parsons, I'm Jerry Punch, congratulating that man, Terry Labonte, on his win at Darlington Raceway. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. So long, everyone.